After 2019 was an off year for what I would say is one of the most iconic franchises in all of gaming with Assassin's Creed, AC is looking to make a comeback in a huge way in 2020 with the rumored Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. And it seems like we've gotten a lot of new information about the game. Now, what's so interesting about the release of Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is obviously they've taken a year off. They didn't release an Assassin's Creed title in 2019, which I think is beneficial to everyone involved. I think Assassin's Creed, if you do yearly releases, it just becomes a little bit too much, especially when you start doing these grandiose open world games. They did it with Assassin's Creed Origins, and it's not like Odyssey suffered a lot from a commercial standpoint. But I think sooner rather than later, it does become a point of diminishing returns when you're churning out these colossal open world experiences every year. And even with the regular Assassin's Creed experiences, we saw those diminishing returns by the time of Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Syndicate as well, and then you saw the shift that the series took. But now, after a year off and the emergence of brand new consoles, obviously the talk is gonna be all about a brand new Assassin's Creed game. The hunger is there once again for more Assassin's Creed, and that's where Assassin's Creed Ragnarok comes in. Rumored to be a cross-generation title, a massive map has been detailed, cooperative play, stealth, combat, parkour details, and more. Want to go over all of that. So Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, the rumored next entry in the series by Ubisoft, has yet to be revealed officially, but today some new details on the game emerge online through a leak. Now, if I had to give a speculation as to when this game would be announced, I would imagine right before E3, and then you would have a sizable gameplay reveal at E3. That's generally how Ubisoft has done the Assassin's Creed reveal formula, and they really haven't strayed away from that all too much. But whatever the case may be on that, according to a new leak, the new entry in the series is going to be a cross-gen title launching on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, as well as on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. The game is apparently getting revealed next month, and it will be released in September, so that is completely crapping on what I just said about traditional Assassin's Creed formula releasing. However, if they want to get the game out in September, that already shifts the release pattern a little bit, because I believe September would be the earliest an Assassin's Creed game would be released. Usually they come out late October, November, sometime around then, and I have some ideas as to why they might be looking to get the game out a little bit earlier. Watch Dogs Legion is also rumored to be releasing this year, if not early 2021. I could understand from a Ubisoft standpoint them being like, okay, let's try to separate the release of the next Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs as much as we can, because it would be a really bad idea to just release those games side by side. I know EA does stuff like that with releasing Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1 side by side, but you see how Titanfall 2 did. Obviously not very well. Hopefully Ubisoft learned a little bit. I still don't have any inclination as to whether or not Watch Dogs Legion is going to be released in 2020, but that would make all the sense in the world given that the game was originally scheduled for March of this year, and then it did see a delay. If it's getting delayed from March, you would think that the game would still be releasing in the same year, but who knows at this point. The title of the next game is Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, and it's set to be codenamed Kingdom. It'll launch on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. Now, here's what's interesting. It notes a release of September, and you guys might think, oh, does that mean the PlayStation 5 is coming out in September? Not at all, because if you go back to the release of Assassin's Creed 4, also a cross-generation title, that first release on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 before the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions. Why was that? Well, that's because the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One weren't out at the time. Assassin's Creed 4 would ultimately drop on the PlayStation 4 as a launch title. And I remember, to me personally, it was one of the best launch titles for the PlayStation 4. Visually, it looked phenomenal on the PS4, but nonetheless, it is said to be officially announced in February at the upcoming PlayStation event, release date September 29th, 2020. The upcoming PlayStation event is said to be this event where they're going to do this big rollout of the PlayStation 5 information, so we'll see about that. I believe the PlayStation 4 event was where they showed off Assassin's Creed 4. I might be wrong about that. The exact information escapes me. That was so many years ago, but it would make a lot of sense to couple that big PlayStation event with a lot of gameplay footage, and Assassin's Creed Ragnarok would be a major game to show, although that would be a game that would probably just be shown in the middle of that conference, just because you would want to highlight that conference with a lot of next-generation exclusive big-budget titles. And Ragnarok, while I'm sure it'll be accentuated by the powers of the PlayStation 5, ultimately Ubisoft does want to keep that game on as many platforms as possible so they can sell the game to as many people as possible. September 29th also does mean that it'll be coming out later in September, so that is closer to that October-November release window we're usually accustomed to with Assassin's Creed. And if I'm correct, the 29th would be a Tuesday, so yes, Tuesdays and Fridays, generally the days that games do drop. Also, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok will feature improvements to the RPG mechanics introduced in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, as well as the combat, parkour, and stealth. It notes continues heavy RPG mechanics now, including different classes and mid-skill tree changes based on classes. Player class can be changed by a specific character. Combat is upgraded with more weapon types and special abilities for every weapon grouping. Each weapon can have runes added, be upgraded, and durability. Increased weapon durability does now come into play, forcing players to use their weapon pool more effectively and forced to manage a smaller inventory that can be upgraded. Replacing Adrenaline is a Berserker mode, which also activates special runes like Fire, Frost, or Lightning damage. Parkour is upgraded with tree climbing and new animations. Stealth is upgraded by having physical stealth skills such as hiding in mud, snow, crouching in bushes, hiding in bales of hay. Players can now also hide in crowds of civilians if their outfit or armor is appropriate, otherwise it can attract attention. Obviously that makes sense because if you're decked out in some crazy armor, you'd stick out like a sore thumb in a crowd of regular civilians. Co-op play will also be included in Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, at least that is what the leak is suggesting. Up to 4-player drop-in, drop-out co-op like Ghost Recon Wildlands, so that makes me think that this is going to be a game that definitely goes with the Ubisoft imperative of constantly making a game evolve and update it through, you know, various downloadable updates, DLC, whatever the case may be. And that'll have an even bigger emphasis with direct online co-op being an emphasis, but we'll see how that ultimately turns out. Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is also going to feature a reputation system, which will make quests and missions available in certain kingdoms only once a certain level of reputation has been reached. Players now have a reputation system based on quests completed for people in cities, the town's officials, clothing worn, crimes committed, etc. Some quests and story missions can only be completed after reaching a certain reputation with kingdoms. So can you have a negative and positive reputation, and will there be certain missions that are locked away if you have a negative reputation, but are also certain missions only going to be available if you have a negative reputation? That's something interesting that we'll definitely uncover as the game gets officially announced. And Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is also said to be doing away with level locked regions with a new progression system. Leveling is overhauled to allow players to improve skill sets to gain experience like in Skyrim. As a result, level locking regions and content is gone. Some skills are unlocked by reaching a high enough skill set level, some must be bought with skill points, and others are unlocked through game and story progression. Obviously, with an Assassin's Creed game in 2020, map size is going to be a key talking point. To me, these Assassin's Creed game worlds are getting a little bit too big for my liking. I give them a lot of credit. They are stuffing these worlds with a lot of content, and it is fun to explore them, but man, to me, I like a little bit more of a streamlined world. I love open world games, but Assassin's Creed games, they're getting a little bit too big for my liking. However, it seems like a lot of people do like the explorability that the Assassin's Creed games and Origins and Odyssey have offered. So Ragnarok is probably going to be right up your alley as well, because the map is said to be massive, featuring almost all of Northern Europe, as well as big cities like York, London, Paris, and Kyiv. These cities do make a lot of sense considering the Viking setting, as Northmen and Danes raided these areas and created settlements near them. The map is noted to be massive like all of the Northern Europe. Again, the source noted big cities being York, London, Paris, and Kyiv. Every kingdom was meant to be really, really unique. The leak does come from an anonymous source, so we do have to take it with a grain of salt. Leaks about the Assassin's Creed series, however, have been extremely common in the past few years, so there's a decent chance all of this could be real, and the Ragnarok name is something that has been speculated on for quite a while for the next Assassin's Creed. Whatever the case may be, I think it's a very smart idea to bring out a brand new Assassin's Creed game, not only this year because they did take 2019 as an off year. They didn't even release a collection, at least I don't recall them releasing a collection. They released that Assassin's Creed 4 and Rogue collection on Nintendo Switch, but outside of that, they have not released a collection. And if you go back to 2016 was the last time they took an off year for Assassin's Creed, but they did put out the Ezio collection that year, so they did make their Assassin's Creed revenue that way. And then 2017, obviously, we had Origins, 2018 Odyssey, 2019 nothing, and then 2020 we do have Ragnarok. Again, Ragnarok slated for, or rumored, leaked, whatever you want to call it, September 29, 2020. A lot of improved features. The world is said to be getting bigger and bigger. For my taste, might be getting a little bit too big, but I think for people that love open world games, for people that love doing a lot of content and seeing everything that a game has to offer, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is going to be a game up a lot of people's alley. Again, if you really enjoyed Origins and Odyssey as well, doubly so. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, at this point, do take it with a grain of salt, but the new leak does suggest a lot of specific information, so that's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.